Previously on
Tom Rabbit. You were brought up the other day by the notorious Darth Dawkins. As I told you earlier, he's targeted you for termination. But what do you think about presuppositional apologetics?
Wait a minute. What does that mean, termination?
He intends to find you speaking in a room when you're isolated from people that know about him and his shtick. So rooms like this would not qualify. And he intends to go in there in that situation, interrogate you, and try and pwn you on the internet with his presuppositional apologetics for his own self-satisfaction. That's exactly what I mean.
Well, okay. I guess it's a free world. I guess, if someone set up a debate and we showed up and we were cordial and we talked about it, then that's great. I mean, this happens all the time.
Check. Everything but the cordial part probably can happen. Maybe.
Well, then if it's not cordial, then that's not fun. That's
yeah, that's true.
Talk about the title, and here's what I said.
Hold on a second. Did you just see Dan Barker was in here and then he left? He popped in and he left.
Oh, wow.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I didn't see it.
If that was the same Dan Barker, as soon as I saw him, I invited him.
But he says, and then I just shoved the issue aside. They tried to press me on it a few more times. I was like,
hear what I just said? Dan Barker was just in here.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't.
Was that the real one? Was that
boring person I could possibly think to?
I suspect that it was the real one rather than an impersonator. He popped in and then he immediately left. Did you know that Tom Rabbit specifically warned him, saying, "Watch out for the notorious Darth Dawkins because he wants to terminate you." And Dan Barker goes, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "He wants to pwn you for his own personal pleasure." That's an impersonator because he's been on regularly recently. So I doubt it's an impersonator. He popped in and then he left.
Yeah, hopefully we can find out it is him for real.
Oh my gosh, they have to stop being obsessed with these guys. This has been years now. They gotta move on.
All right, he's in another room.
I know, it's boring.
I didn't write down Muhammad's dying wish. So go into that room and see if that's really Dan Barker. Why didn't Umar write down Muhammad's dying wish? Go in there. Somebody go in there and invite Dan Barker to come in and chat with us.
Okay, which one? Which room? I'll do it. Let me see. Let me see.
Yeah, they tried to bait me into an exchange about you blocking people and you blocking Christians.
Did you guys hear me?
He said he was going in there. He said he was going to go into their room.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, somebody go into the Christian Apologetics room. It's one space Christian Apologetics space one. That's the club. And it says, "Why didn't Umar write down Muhammad's dying wish?" And somebody invite Dan Barker to come on over here so it doesn't look like I'm going at, following him around, stalking him. And somebody invite Dan Barker to come on over here so it doesn't look like I'm going at, following him around, stalking him.
Wait, you don't think you're being recorded right now and there's some kind of spy telling everyone what you just said?
I don't care. I'm going to follow him.
This is so ridiculous. I'd like to get absurd they are.
Yeah, you can't leave anything when it comes to Tom Rabbit. Honestly,
No, I made it very clear, knowing full well I'm being recorded. I would love to talk with him, because he fancies himself as a good debater, and I don't think he's anywhere near as good as he thinks he is.
No,
yeah,
he's one of the more boring people ever.
He's an atheist slogan cliche spew. Here he is. Come on up, Dan. Let's see if this is the real one. Yeah, that's the real one. Come on up, Dan.
I don't even see him. Yeah, I don't see him either, and I can't find that room. Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Oh,
He's here right now.
no, I don't want to participate. I'd just like to listen in. I thought there would be some arguments about
I would
book,
just like
so-
to hear you tell me about your atheism. God doesn't exist because.
I don't want to talk now. I want to listen to the topic.
Dan, you run an organization which promotes atheism. I've been to your site. You know, you have signs like there's no heaven and hell, there's no heaven above, no hell below. You've actually held up placards at rallies, there is no God. You've done that, right?
I came to listen to the topic of this room,
Dan,
not
aren't you a
to
preeminent
rehash.
atheist debater? Aren't you a preeminent atheist debater?
Are we going to talk about the topic of the room? That's why I came in here, not to talk about atheism. The room's about books, right? Isn't that what you're advertising this to be?
Dan, I don't want to miss an opportunity. You are a preeminent atheist debater.
This is not an opportunity
with you.
This is not an
It's not.
opportunity.
You're not.
I'm listening in. I'm listening into a conversation. I'm walking home from work.
You don't want to talk about. You're an atheist defender, right?
Not on this room. I like to talk about atheism a lot, but not in this room. Because I came to this room for the advertised topic of the room. That's what interests me right now. If you don't want to talk about that.
Isn't a book, isn't a reputation. Yeah.
That
Nothing is a reputation of God. And he fled. Did you see this? Here, the preeminent atheist debate guy, he's had 130 plus debates. Runs like the little Girl Scout that he is. Did you all see that?
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Did you all
embarrassing.
thinking in his slides? How do you talk about that?
He is in what other room?
His atheism.
He is in what other room right now?
He's what?
He is in what other room right now?
He was in here a second ago. Didn't you?
Yes, but someone called him in another room, right?
I try to find him. But,
Like minutes ago.
He's heard people talking about me. Okay, that I want to talk with him. Right? He knows somebody that I'm polemically against atheists, and I wanted to talk with him about his atheism.
Yeah, I invited him as well to a formal debate, and first he hesitated and then he declined.
I didn't invite him to a formal debate. I want to have a conversation with him about his atheism.
yeah. Okay.
That was really confrontational. What's wrong with you?
No, this guy is a preeminent representative of American atheism. He is the co-president of the Freedom from Religion Foundation. He makes his living off of doing this. Okay?
He is the Michael.
If you go to their website, you look at his materials, he has made a career out of promoting atheism. Okay?
Well,
He claims
you don't know that they are all afraid
he's back.
about.
Okay. So Dan, do you want to have a conversation about atheism or not?
It is the title of the room, after all,
Yeah.
Dan. Right? Is God just a book? Dan, is that?
I want to see if you have a rational case to make for atheism. Do you think you can do that? Is my mic working?
Your mic's working fine. We can hear you.
You might be on music.
And
Dan,
I'd like
maybe
you to
on-
mute your mic, and I'd like you to explain to us why your atheism is truly rational.
Actually, like to see what.
Well, Dan, if you're not going to participate in the conversation, there's no point in you being on stage. I don't know why you came up on stage if you don't want to converse.
Because about their title, we're just going to say, look, it's not logical to say that a view is false because it's in the book. That's my response, Mr. Barker. That's literally all there is to it. And we can expand on that if you want. But if you don't want to have a more in-depth conversation with us, I'm not sure why you're here, man.
Dan, why are you on stage here?
Maybe he's just absent for a minute and comes back. Let him just stay a little bit and wait. Let's wait.
We'll
Maybe.
find out. Well, let's see if he chimes in. Obviously,
I'm sure
it's
he's.
just- yeah.
I'm sure he's gathering all of his information on how there is no God. His files.
But look, It's just like I said.
No. You know, Tom Rabbit went out of his way and said, "Watch out for the notorious Darth Dawkins. He's out to terminate." You can't make a better movie script. You know, maybe they could get some, Hollywood financiers to produce this movie. You know,
He's
still waiting for you to open your mic up, Dan.
No, I'm just going to listen. I told you before. I'm walking home. I'm sweating. I'm going up these hills.
I perfectly
Well,
understand that you're walking
take
home.
me off stage
On
then.
stage then.
Somebody invited me, so
Okay,
take me
why
off.
didn't you come up on stage? Well,
Just
Dan,
to say,
I'm offering you an
I came on
invitation.
stage. I came on stage to say that I'm just listening in. That's all.
Dan,
Today,
since you're a preeminent atheist debater, you've had 130 plus debates.
don't you
Would you be
understand
willing to have
English?
a-
Don't you understand the simple English language? I'm telling you.
Why
I'm
are
telling
being
you
rude
very
with me?
simply. Please listen to me. You want me to talk?
Dan?
Please listen. Please listen if you want me to talk.
Listen, hey, would you
I'm-
not overtalk me, please? I was talking, Dan. Okay. Now, all I'm simply saying to you is, if now is not an appropriate time because you're walking home, I perfectly understand that. But given the fact that you're a prominent person in the United States who is an outspoken defender of atheism, you have over 130 plus debates under your belt that you took by invitation. I'm sure that you would be more than willing to discuss with me or others in the room about why your atheism is rational. Would you be willing to have such a conversation?
Yes, but not now. I'm sweating. I'm walking home. I'm going up hills. I told you before, I simply would like to listen to your brilliant conversation so that I can learn something. I'm not prepared to talk right now. And somebody invited me to talk. And so I came on to say that I'm just here to listen. That's the only reason. You understand that, don't you?
Okay, well then you should be in the audience then and not on the stage.
Yes. Well, somebody take
stage and ten.
Well, somebody invited me. So
would you do me a
uninvite
favor?
me. Uninvite
so
me then.
Okay, so Dan, I've followed your. Would you do me the honor of following me back and hitting the bell so that we can both know when we are on and that we can have a conversation about atheism versus Christian theism?
I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. You're a voice to me.
oh wow.
I'm somebody on here who is a regular defender of Christian theism against atheism. I go by the screen name of Darth Dawkins. Both atheists and theists broadly on this platform are familiar with me. I make no claim as to being somebody special, but I think I'm fairly proficient in debating the issue. And given that you're a preeminent atheist debater, I'd love to have a conversation with you.
Well, we can set that up, but not now. Sorry. I got a couple
That's
more
fine.
books to go here.
Okay. Well, do me a favor. Let me know.
Follow
You
them.
have that. Okay. Yeah. Let me know. Follow me back then. It's interesting. It's interesting though. What's interesting though, he says he's walking home. But yesterday or the day before yesterday, he spent much of the time walking home after work to his residence, talking at length and giving commentary at length to the Tom Rabbit room. And he can't seem to have a conversation now because he's walking home.
Read in studies that you try to defend atheism with Darth Dawkins, it actually burns more calories.
No, but he could spend a good 30 plus minutes walking home with the Tom Rabbit crowd. But he comes in here and he comes up on stage and he can't talk.
Dart, he is doing psychoanalysis about your arguments. He's studying you. And once he has done that, and
He said you were brilliant, Dart.
Then he will actually join.
Yep.
I need to make that a t-shirt. Dan Barker said Darth Dawkins was brilliant.
There you go.
Now, this was a major blow. He said he doesn't know Darth Dawkins. Did you hear that? That's incredible.
Oh, it's
Sure. I don't care who he is. He's just another man to me.
Well, he's got all of these debates, and you'd think he would be able to at least have a conversation on his way home.
I mean, I don't believe that he really meant that. I mean, who doesn't know Darth Dawkins?
Well, I would think that he would, be okay, given he spent a half an hour with Tom Rabbit, the rest of the atheists in there,
All right.
at length.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. If he knows Tom Rabbit, he doesn't know Tom Rabbit's channel. He doesn't know about who is the most outspoken apologist of a presupposition. That's incredible.
No, that's
I
not
cannot think.
right. That's so unlikely.
I mean, he must know that Darth Dawkins has no arguments because he knows Tom Rabbit.
Hey, quick question. Out of the 130 debates, has he debated a presuppositionalist before? Just out of curiosity.
yeah, I think he debated Paul. What was his name? Paul. What is his name with an M?
Oh, Paul M. Oh, M. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's something Paul Manata. When Dan was talking with Tom Rabbit and the rest of those miscreants over there, he said he debated, I think, two other presuppositionalists. He gave a name that I didn't quite recall. And then he said he also interacted or debated with some student or disciple of John Frame.
Oh,
He actually debated Michael Butler, Greg Bonson's.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah, he did have a debate with Michael Butler. Yeah. In fact,
do you remember his
listened to that debate. It's the usual rebuttals that Dan gives. He just goes down the list of his usual atheist cliches and slogans. He did it yesterday when he was talking to Tom Rabbit, when he was asked to give a response to biblical presuppositionalism. He says all they do is they attack the opposing side and they don't provide evidence. But saying they don't provide evidence is just simply another claim. Okay. That's not an actual rebuttal that the defense of Christian theism is false.
He just attacked us.
Saying you don't
provide evidence that we don't provide evidence.
saying you don't accept the line of reasoning, it doesn't necessarily follow from that it doesn't constitute evidentiary support. You have to give a clear rebuttal rather than just saying, "Oh, I don't buy it," or "That's not evidence." What Dan does is he just and I don't mean anything personally or disrespect Dan by these criticisms. I'm just giving you my point of view. What he doesn't understand, he just ignores. Okay. And then he simply just dismisses. And to be perfectly honest with you, Dan, after having listened to your interaction with Tom Rabbit, I didn't really hear out of you a representation of somebody that had a good understanding of biblical presuppositions. And I know this is being recorded. I know it'll go up to YouTube. That's fine. They can repeat it back to Dan Barker. I don't care. I've listened to more than my fair share of Dan Barker debates. Okay. And what I will say about him is that he's a good public speaker, and he's good at memorizing, a long laundry list of atheist cliches and sloganeerings, right? But the substance thereof is not very good. It's just the typical atheist cliches over and over again.
Later that same evening.
Well, I don't know. I don't know, but I have no reason to reject it. That's all they'll just tank to. They'll just say, well, they have no reason to reject it. So, but here's the problem. Were you going to say something, Darth?
It was slightly off topic. It was about Dan Barker, but go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh,
No, I'm interested. What was it?
I mean, it was either yesterday or the day before. He was walking home, from work, which is being the co-president of the Freedom from Religion Foundation. I guess he's in walking distance. And he was speaking at length for a good 30, 45 minutes at least about a number of different topics, speaking quite extemporaneously, where they were picking his mind and getting him to, give analysis and all that. And he's walking at home tonight, on his phone. And all of a sudden, he becomes as shy as a Girl Scout. Well, I'm just here to listen. Well, why were you so talkative with being surrounded by all the friendly atheists, and now you're in an area where you're not surrounded by friendly atheists, but someone like myself, I want to have a conversation about why your atheism is reasonable. And he goes, I'm not here to talk, I'm just here to listen. This is a guy who said, I made over 130 debates and I was invited to them all. I don't go seeking these out. Right? And all of a sudden he clams up. He can't talk. Right? Now, I could, at face value, it seemed, okay, yeah, he's huffing and puffing, walking home. But here's the problem. The other day, he was in Tom Rabbit's room talking up a storm for 30 to 45 minutes, doing the same thing.
Do you think James White, who's also had many debates over his career, if he went into a room about sexual criticism and someone asked him about that, do you think he would not explain anything? Do you think he would just be like, oh, I'm just here to listen?
Look, like I say, anywhere where you show up, if you get mistreated, you can say, look, you're not treating me fairly. Let me know when you're going to treat me fairly. But you see, for some reason, he crew, the notorious Darth Dawkins is coming after you. I mean, it was actually quite weird on Tom Rabbit's part. He wants to terminate you, and Dan Rather's going, "What are you talking about?"
But that was an embarrassing display on Dan's part.
Look, I'm not the one paying people to keep on talking about me. Okay? All I know is I finally get a chance to run into Dan Barker and say, hey, Dan, come on up. I've been looking forward to talking with you about your atheism. And all of a sudden, I can't talk right now. I just want to listen.
I think he knows who you are. I think that's why he was doing that garbage.
You know what? I don't know. I don't care. I know that Tom Rabbit gave him, what Tom Rabbit's lowdown on me, But, as soon as he came in, hey, Dan, come on up. Let's talk.
His atheism.
He certainly had the gift of gab the other day walking home from work, but today he doesn't. I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I mean, there are plenty of opportunities where I'm in and out doing stuff, and all of a sudden, I can't talk anymore. And maybe that was the case. But he told us what he was doing. He was walking home, and he was doing that the other day, and he was talking up a storm.
It's clear that he didn't want to have his atheism examined. That was just an excuse. Because if you can talk at length the other day walking home, but now all of a sudden you're afraid to talk about it, you're just giving a ridiculous.
Yeah, go check it out. It's in one of the other channels where Dan Barker was in the room. Just do a search on Dan Barker.
What I find interesting,
I mean, the usual miscreant, knuckle dragging, reprobate atheists were there. Tom Rabbit was sucking up to him. And he was just lecturing on at length his whole way home walking.
And clearly, if you're in the room to listen and you accepted an invitation on stage, you're clearly attentive enough to listen at all. So if you're attentive enough to listen, then why are you not attentive enough to have a conversation?
It's so funny that his profile was former evangelical minister. Something.
Former
he loves
minister.
Yeah, he loves wearing that on his sleeve. I don't know the extent or the depth of that, but he likes doing it.
Is that supposed to be his street cred thing or something?
Yeah,
it's funny.
What you should know is listen. He's listed as being the co-president of the Freedom from Religion Foundation. The other co-president is his wife. Okay.
Oh.
Now, his wife's mother-in-law, as far as I know, okay, I'm willing to be corrected on any of this, even by Dan himself. His wife's mother-in-law started the Freedom Foundation. Okay. Organizations raise funds.
like a property dualist, a substance dualist, anomalist? Do you know where he stands on any of those?
No, I don't, and I don't think he really cares. I think he just enjoys being the president of an atheist organization that collects a lot of money, and they hire lawyers to harass various institutions, municipalities, schools, churches for allegedly violating the Constitution, and they bring numerous lawsuits, right? So it's probably, I think it has the largest membership of any atheist type of organization out there, even above possibly American atheists. Okay, although I could be wrong about that. But you just check out their own website for yourself, because it's interesting what they reveal about themselves. But getting back to the founding of the organization, the Freedom from Religion Foundation was started by his late mother-in-law, and she also started an organization collecting money to pay for abortions. Okay. And Dan Barker met his current wife, according to his own self-testimony, and on the Oprah Winfrey Show. There's actually a video of this on YouTube. You can see it. And I guess the relationship developed. They got married, and then he became involved in this nonprofit organization, and he has been ever since. He's made a career out of being a professional atheist. Right? And he's somebody, according to his own testimony, which is true, he's had 130 plus debates, and that's nothing to sneeze at. That's a certain amount of achievement. But I've listened to enough of them that, in my biased opinion, he's just an atheist cliche sloganeering, spewing machine. Okay?
Yeah, Dan Parker. No, I keep saying Parker. Dan Parker. His name sounded familiar, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, his name's familiar," because I was watching Christian Video Vault YouTube channel, and then there was a thumbnail. Atheism is illusion. So he was in it, and then I was like, "Oh, that's why." It sounds familiar. And I was like, but yeah, you're right. Where it's like, don't just say cliche and all this stuff, and they want to.
In debates, he tries to represent atheism as lactheism. Okay, They'll just say atheism is just a lack of belief. Now, right there, anybody promoting that idea, they're not on solid ground. I mean, you take a look at other professional atheists; they laugh at that.
No, it's really disappointing.
That's just pop atheism.
It's really disappointing. Some of the biggest atheists promote some of the stupidest ideas. Just like he's a big atheist and promoting lactheism. Oh, you got
he does that regularly in his debates.
And even Matt DeLaBlovier does the same garbage.
And that other guy, what's his name?
Well, he has stated, Dan has stated in previous debates and even dialogues that he doesn't know anything for certain. But in previous talks, he said he knows he's certain that the Christian God doesn't exist. I mean, get your story straight. How do you know for certain the Christian God exists when you've made on previous occasions statements that you can't be certain about anything?
And another atheist is Sam Hill. Sam Hill.
There's another thing is he's condemned the Bible, the God of the Bible, as guilty of genocide. He talks about the killing of children or babies, yet Dan himself is staunchly pro-abortion and says that abortion is a blessing. The good news is he's agreed to have a future conversation, which is good.
I hope he holds himself to that.
Look, I remember watching one of his silly little talk shows that they did on YouTube. And he said one of his favorite Bible contradictions are the two passages in Acts where it said they could hear that somebody was speaking to Paul, and another passage that said they couldn't. And he said this is his favorite Bible contradiction, or one of his favorite. If you had simply, anybody taking just 3 minutes in a Google search could find out very quickly that there are a number of papers out there and stuff written on the internet to show Greek in the one passage because of the Greek terminology. And the problem comes more so in the King James translation than it does in the American Standard. In the one passage, when it says it couldn't hear him, it's referring to the intelligibility of what was being spoken. Okay. Now, you'll forgive me, I'm rusty on the passages. I'll have to look them up again for more precision. But when I did look them up in the past, what I found out is one of them, when you look it up in the English and in the Greek, one of them is referring to that words were being, they could hear that somebody was speaking, right? And the other passage just simply is referring to they heard somebody speaking, but they couldn't understand it. It's not a contradiction. Any more than if you say to somebody, if somebody's talking to you and you respond by saying, I can't hear you. Well, sometimes that means I hear you.
Okay. I don't know if anybody.
So I was
Dan the
wondering,
Dodger, maybe we could call him Dan the Dodger Barker.
so how long has Darth been like debating atheists? I'm kind of, I've recently discovered him like the last week or so. So I'm just curious.
I started encountering these knuckleheads, over 10 years ago on Xbox Live, then on Pal Talk, then on Google Plus, then on Discord, and now on Clubhouse. And somebody invite Dan Barker to come on over here, so it doesn't look like I'm going at, following him around, stalking.